his normal tight end position. And, boy, he came off the field limping a little bit, and that's not good for Zeps fans.
Yeah, I had him as injured down here, but he's back. Oh, here's a flag, and it's a shank punt. Oh, my, it even takes a Caldwell roll, but the Redskins are going to have the ball right around the 35-yard line of Shenandoah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's see what what the laundry's all about.
I don't know whether somebody from Caldwell possibly lined up offside.
Here's something else. Braxton Barnett is the punter, I believe, isn't he?
Braxton Barnett is the punter, yes.
The regular punter. So they're without him as well tonight, punting the football. So that's something else that you really need to look at for the Zeps.
So that penalty was a sideline warning. So no actual mark-off against that. That's just a warning the first time.
1st and 10 Redskins at the Shenandoah 35, 5:42 left in the first quarter. That's our Chandler Monument scoreboard. Here we go. Kroc gets the ball out. That's Leak with the football. The 30, the 25, the 20. He's going to be knocked out of bounds right around the 13-yard line. Big gain for the Redskins on first down. That's a Caldwell Lumber first down.
Boy, I watched Ethan last week. He does such a nice job throwing that little swing route. The key to that is hitting the running back in stride, and he did a perfect job of that time hitting Leak.
I'll tell you something else. Gavin Leak, his play over the last several weeks is really, he's been looking better and better running the football. He's a nice option, a number 2 option to Ethan Kroc. Really is. You have to keep an eye on number 14. Short gain on first down. Gain of right around 3 on the play, 2nd and 7 for the Redskins. Kroc in the shotgun again. Leak off to his left side. Man in motion. Snap. Straight ahead Leak.
Another flag thrown in there. That's probably offensive holding would be my guess. That or a face mask.
Just from who threw it, I think you're right. One of the back judges threw the flag. It's a gain of right around, it looks like around 4 on the play. Let's see what the call is. Face mask.
There you go. That's a second face mask penalty against the Zeps here.
So somebody must have got a hold of Gavin Leak's face mask when they were bringing him down. So that's going to bring up that's a 2nd down and very short now for the Redskins. Snap. Here's Kroc cutting it up. He's going to have it inside the 2-yard line. That's a Caldwell Lumber first down for the Redskins. Hey, we do want to apologize for the technical difficulties we had in getting this game on. We are now loud and clear here from Shenandoah High School, Noble County Super Bowl. And
I believe it looks like we're starting to get a few raindrops.
yeah, I don't know that they were calling for that tonight, but I think you're right. It does look like it's very lightly coming down. Look over there at the lights. You can see it.
That's what I first noticed. Yeah, and I don't think those are all bugs.
No, they're not. So a little bit of rain coming down, although most of the crowd staying in position. Straight ahead. Touchdown, Redskins. Was that Leak?
I believe it was, yes.
Gavin Leak.
Gavin Leak, the junior running back.
So Redskins jump out to a 13-0 lead, 4:18 left here in the first quarter. Coming up, the extra point, Chaz Peffers in. And the holder, of course, is number 29, Mason Arnold. So now they're looking to the sidelines. And is there an equipment problem, maybe, Mike?
Looks like they may be changing their mind and possibly going for 2 here. Peffer came off the field.
Well, you'd think he'd remain on, being one of the primary wide receivers. But
maybe something wrong with him because he's going over to the bench area right now. Peffer is.
Maybe an equipment problem?
looks like that or something with his leg. I see the trainer working on him over there on the sideline. Anyway, the Redskins are going to line up here to go for 2 again with 4:18 to go in the first quarter. Ahead already 13-0.
It has been all Caldwell here early on. Extra point is no good, and with that, 4:18 left in the first quarter. The score, Caldwell 13, Shenandoah nothing. We'll take a break. Back with more right after this.
Looking for reliable insurance that fits your life? Look no further than Allen Hunter State Farm in Cambridge, Ohio. From auto to home to life insurance, we offer a range of options tailored to your needs. With our friendly, knowledgeable team, you'll get the protection and peace of mind you deserve. We're dedicated to being there for you, just like a good neighbor should. Call Allen Hunter State Farm today and discover how we can help you safeguard your future. Call 740-439-5385. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports season is heating up, and so is the real estate market. When you're thinking about making a move with your property, think Ben Schaefer Realty first. Specializing in conventional sales, property management, and auction-themed sales, Ben Schaefer Realty's aggressive marketing approach is redefining the way real estate is sold. With a proven track record and unmatched expertise, they're dedicated to helping clients prosper. Call Ben Schaefer Realty today and experience the difference with real estate professionals who deliver results.
High school football
from ABC Sports
on WWKC, Caldwell, Cambridge.
KC 105.
Welcome back. Shenandoah High School, the site of this year's Noble County Super Bowl. 13-0 Caldwell. Redskins with the lead. Zeps getting the ball. Here's the kick. That's got to be Landon Moore back there, 28 with the football. He's up to the 20, the 25, gets around the corner, and he's knocked out of bounds. But good field position here for the Zeps to start this drive.
Marked and knocked out of bounds by the kicker, Chaz Peffern. Good to see him back on the field. Looks like he has maybe that left knee wrapped up a little bit. It may just have been, he had some blood on it, was required to leave the field. You know, the trainer got him taped up.
Okay.
So he's back in action.
Well, it did cost Caldwell 1 point here early on in this contest. Hey,
And we'll
Shenandoah boosters are having an old jersey sale in the parking lot.
I saw that.
20
yeah.
bucks a jersey. You can get one of those Jets jerseys. I love those things when they wore those. $20. And nice jerseys, too. All right. Can probably contact the boosters. Ooh. Boy, Caldwell's all over that first down play. Landon Moore with the carry, trying a little bit of off tackle there, but nothing doing. He's going to lose a yard. You know, that is the one thing I talked to Coach Rucker before the game, and he basically said, you know, we're a little bit worried about their ball fakes. He said, sometimes we lose track of the football with them. They're very good at it. Here's the snap, and this time, that's Kunkel. 40, all the way up past the 40 to the 42-yard line. That's going to bring up a third down and short. Probably the best play of the night so far for the Zeps as Davin Kunkel goes for around 9, maybe 8. And again, a good ball fake to Moore.
I don't know who's responsible for containment out there on the right-hand side for the Redskins, but they definitely lost contain that time. Good, nice run there by the sophomore Kunkel.
All right, shotgun formation this time for Kunkel. The give to Moore. He's going to have enough for the first down. That's a Caldwell Lumber first down for the Zeps. Flag on the play. It comes flying up late. Ball's all the way out to the 45. We'll have to see what that's all about. That could have been a little bit of extracurricular
I'd say
activity.
it probably was because it came after the play was over.
After the flag, dead ball, personal foul, 44 of the defense. 15-yard penalty.
That's a big one. That is a personal foul on Caldwell. That's going to cost them 15 yards after the play, so that's going to move the ball into Redskins territory right around the 40-yard line. Zeps will have it there, 1st and 10. A score here gets the Zeps right back in the ball game. 2:49 left in the first quarter.
Nate called that against Owen Hunt, the junior inside linebacker for the Redskins. And that does happen in this game.
All right, shotgun formation for Shenandoah. First down. Snap, the give. And it's Landon Moore, the 40. He's going to have a short gain that time. A good job by Owen Hunt to come out to the outside and cut down Moore as he tried to turn the corner.
Yeah, tripped initially by Jonah Morocco, the outside linebacker, and then good job cleaning up that time by Owen Hunt.
Morocco's had a good year for the Redskins.
He last year as a sophomore, he was honorable mention All-State, and there's not a lot to him, but he's one tough hombre.
Yeah, that not a lot to him. I identify with that.
He's gotten a little bigger though this year.
That weight room stuff does pay off. Here's Moore, straight ahead, good gain. Landon Moore, he cuts it right up the middle. He runs well between the tackles. He's going to pick up right around 5 on the play, Mike. And Shenandoah right now doing a great job running between the tackles. And it's that ball handling. It's hard to tell who's got the football.
And I thought coming in that was the one chance that the Zeps had. If they were able to run the football and keep it out of the hands of the Caldwell offense, they would have a chance. Unfortunately for them on their first drive, the first play was a 10-yard penalty, put them behind the sticks, and they weren't able to pick up the first down. A little more success on their second drive here.
3rd and 2, they're definitely in 4-down territory. Here's Moore with the ball. Wow. Yeah, that somebody on the Caldwell defense saw something because there were 3 or 4 Redskins there to make the tackle. It's going to make it 4th and right around 3, but I figure Shenandoah will go for this. Maybe some kind of a run-pass option.
Yeah, that was the initial play, I think, was made there by Preston Geiler. And then Owen Hunt again came up and denied him the opportunity to pick up a first down.
Hey, we haven't talked about the playoff possibilities for the Redskins, who are looking like they're going to get in, Mike, but we had kind of narrowed it down to 3 teams that you basically thought, and it looks to me like you're right, that the Redskins could face in round number 1. They will be on the road.
Yeah, they come in tonight, number 14 in Region 23 of Division 6. They are about 1.3, 1.4 points behind Mechanicsburg, but they're also 1.7 points ahead. It looks like with the win tonight, they're probably pretty much locked into that 14th position, which would pair them against the number 3 seed, who right now would be Waterford, but also Fort Fry and West Lafayette Ridgewood, depending on results tonight, have a possibility. So
both Fort Fry and Waterford on the Caldwell schedule. 2 wins. Probably
2 wins for the Redskins.
2 biggest wins of the year for Caldwell. Here's Kunkel with the football, turning up, and he's not going to make it.
No, came up just short.
Well, and the Zeps, I think they're at number 18 right now. They don't really have probably any opportunity to get in as far as we can see. But this is their playoff game.
Absolutely, it's their playoff game. You know, this season started out so promising for them. They started out the year. We were here for the game. They beat a very, very good Edison team.
7-2 right now.
42-40 in one of the most exciting games I've seen in years to begin the season. Came back with a win week 2 at Shadyside, and unfortunately for them, they have not had a win since week 2.
They've been close a number of times.
Yes, they have.
So they've been in the football games. Of course, after the injury to Barnett, it's been a little tougher for the Zeps. Oh, here's Leak to the outside. He's going to pick up probably right around 7 on the play, maybe 8.
Tackle made out there by Landon Moore. Good pickup on first down there for the junior Gavin Leak.
24 seconds left here. Clock rolling in the first quarter. I don't know. It looks like they're up to the line quickly. They'll probably get one more playoff here before the quarter ends. Croc in the shotguns. He's going to take it around the right side, and he's going to have enough for the Caldwell Lumber first down right around the 45-yard line. With that, officials stop the clock while they move the chains. So Redskins coming up quickly. They're going to try to get one more snap off. 2, and
Not going to
that's
make it.
going to do it. That's the end of the first quarter of play. The score after 1, it is Caldwell 13, Shenandoah nothing. We'll take a break. Back with more right after this.
Hi, I'm Mark Kelly with Bicon Services. We have been your premier commercial construction contractor for more than 26 years. We provide full construction and design build services to assist in bringing your vision to reality. Along with commercial buildings, we provide a long list of facility maintenance services. From project planning, budgeting, and complete turnkey solutions, we can meet all of your needs under one roof. Visit bi-conservices.com and let us help you to get your cash register up and operational.
Today is the day you make changes, the day you have looked forward to, the day you take a step to see the you before addiction. And it all starts right here at the Residence, an in-bed facility that designs your recovery to your needs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm Crystal Reynolds for Cedar Ridge Behavioral Health Solutions. Our approach is personal, and it is as individual as your needs. We are here for you. Call 855-692-7247.
We're back at Shenandoah High School, getting ready here for the start of the second quarter. Redskins lead the Zeps 13-0. Caldwell with the football. They've got it at their own 46-yard line, 1st and 10. Croc in the shotgun formation, the snap. Ethan takes it to the outside, and he's tripped up. Nice play.
Boy, was it.
I'm not sure who did. Somebody knifed in there and brought him down.
I think that was
32.
Van Fossen is
Cole
who
Van
they
Fossen,
announced.
yeah, Cole Van Fossen. That's what I thought. Got in there and tripped him down. Seeing a lot of Van Fossen, a junior, 5'8" at 150. That's pretty good when you can bring one of those 210 guys down. That's a nice job there by Van Fossen to make that tackle.
If he doesn't make that play, there's a lot of green out there for, well, green and brown.
Yes. You mean football field green?
Yeah, football field green, exactly.
I like it. There we go. Descriptive. Here's the snap. Croc is back. He's going to heave this one. Pfeffer's the target.
Oh, he almost cut in front and made that play.
Great adjustment by Chaz as he cut in. He was behind the cornerback. He delayed, and then he cut back in front of him and almost was able to pull that in just over his outstretched fingers.
Defender out there was Parker Neff that time. Pretty good position, but
Chaz,
Pfeffer made a nice adjustment on the ball and just was unable to hold on to it.
Chaz is 6'3", and he looked at that time. And it's hard for, a smaller cornerback to cover somebody like that. Parker Neff comes in at 5'9". Here's the snap. Croc is back. He's looking again, He's in trouble now. He's going to turn it upfield. The 45, the 50, and a great run going up the sideline by Ethan Croc. He's really close to a first down. If he didn't get it, they may go for it here on fourth.
He's got plenty.
They're going to give it to him. First down, Redskins. Nice run there by Croc. Boy, it looked like he was out of options, Mike, and he just took off around the end and made the yardage he needed.
That's what an athlete does. I tell you what, quarterback is not his true position, but I tell you what, he has improved tremendously from the start of this season.
You're right, and if I've watched him this year, I think he plays quarterback. He's probably one of the better athletes on the team, but his calling is defense, I think, in college at the next level. Straight ahead, here's Leak.
And he ran over a couple guys right there.
Good job. That was a good job there by Gavin Leak. Leg drive right there. Now, he didn't pick up much, but he got a positive gain out of that down to right around the 36-yard line. And that was all Gavin Leak. He just pushed that defensive man back.
Now it looks like maybe somebody got hurt down along the sideline. That might have been the manager that got run over that time. One of the water boys.
All right.
Everything's all right. He's up. He's tough.
2nd and 6. Even the water boys are tough here. Shotgun formation for the Redskins. The snap. Straight ahead, Croc. Again, gang tackling by the Zeps. He's not going to have the first down, but he's close to it. It's probably going to be 3rd and right around 2 to go for the Redskins. you had to figure that Shenandoah had number 2 circled. They know he'll be carrying the ball a lot
Especially
tonight.
after the game he had last week against Toronto. But I got to give the Shenandoah defense credit so far. Ethan has had to earn every yard that he's gained so far. Nothing's been easy for him.
13-0, Caldwell with the lead, 9:56 left here in the second quarter. That's your Chandler Monument scoreboard. Here's the snap. Croc's got it, going around the left end. This time he turns the corner. He's got it. He's headed for the end zone. They're going to knock him out of bounds right around the, where are they going to mark him?
Looks like about the 23-yard line.
He must have stepped out because he was headed home, but he must have cut up. But that's going to be enough for a Caldwell Lumber first down for the Redskins. But again, boy, he is so dangerous with the football.
Hey, what impresses me, he is so patient as a runner, and just kind of glides, and then when he sees something, he just plants that foot, and I tell you, when he turns it up, and he's a good-sized young man, he's hard to bring down.
Yeah, what do we say, 210? 205, excuse me. Missed it by 5 pounds.
Yeah. 10th first down already in the first half here for the Redskins.
Shotgun formation. That's Leak in the pistol this time, straight ahead to Leak. He bounces it to the outside. Good play that time by the Zeps. He's going to have a short gain, maybe a yard on the play.
I think that was 32 Van Fossen again on the play. And tackled him where you tell kids to tackle, down low. Chop him down like a tree.
Well, Cole Van Fossen, 5'8", 150. He'd better be using correct form.
Exactly. Leak's already run over top 2 or 3 players tonight.
5'10", 175 is Gavin Leak. Here's this offside. Did they get drawn off?
I think Ethan Kroc, being the intelligent player that he is, changed up the cadence that time a little bit and drew the defense off. So that gave the Redskins a cheap 5 yards.
Second down and 5. Well, let's make it 4 now for the Redskins. They're at the Shenandoah 16-yard line. Kroc, the snap. He's going to bounce it off to the left side, outside, and they're on him, but he is close to a first down. Boy, he's hard to bring down. Number 8, Ethan Cutlip, was one of the Zeps riding him down, but he's got enough for a Caldwell Lumber first down.
Boy, you could see him. He just turned the corner. He knew he couldn't outrun the one young man that was out there, but just lowered his head and picked up another 3 yards.
Yeah, he decided, I can't outrun you, but I can run over you.
I can run over you, yes.
That's pretty much what he did. All right, 1st and 10 now for the Redskins. Here's the give. That's going to be the jet sweep, and they try to Leak, and boy.
Nice job that time.
A lot of running laterally. He's going to lose a couple, I think. Nice defensive play that time by the Zeps as they string it out, and then they penetrate and pull Gavin Leak down.
And that was number 15, Parker Neff, that did a nice job out here from his outside linebacker position, forcing Gavin to try to turn it back up inside, and good pursuit that time by the defense.
Shenandoah, that's another thing. They've been decimated by injuries. If you look at that list of players that they have out.
Well, look at the other side, too. Both teams
Yeah.
have been decimated this year by injuries. And that happens in this game, unfortunately.
And at the small school level, that's really difficult. Here we go, another jet sweep. This time it's Kroc, and he gets to the outside, fighting for yardage.
But I
He's
think that
inside the 5. There's a flag down. It's probably holding.
That one's coming back. I could see it from here. Yes, somebody inside had a hold, and it was way too obvious.
Holding. And you are correct, sir. 7:35 left here in the second quarter. Caldwell threatening, but that holding penalty is going to knock them all the way back to right around the 28-yard line. So it'll be second down, 21 to go for the Redskins. That's a big break for the Zeps.
It sure is, yeah. The Redskins now with 2 penalties for 25 yards.
Trips out to the left side for Croc, who's in the shotgun. The snap. Croc is back, looking. Now he's rolling, pulls up now. Now he's going to roll the other way, rolling back to the right.
He's got
the
some
30,
room.
The 25, and they're going to bring him down right around the 20-yard line. Nice job that time in coverage by the Zeps, and they really didn't give Ethan Croc a lane to run in.
No, they really didn't, I tell you. Good pursuit, good coverage by the secondary, too, because really nobody was open. He had plenty of time to find someone.
So that's going to bring up a 3rd down, 18 to go for the Redskins. Now, it looks to me like Chaz Peffer is pretty healthy. I don't know if they try a field goal this deep or not, though. But they will go for it on 4th down if they can't hit that field goal.
And that's Dalton Egnott, who lines up to the right of Ethan Croc this time. Again, they just started playing him in the backfield 2 games ago. Little screen pass.
Nice job. Here's Leak. There's a flag flying, and he's going to get into the end zone is Gavin Leak. But I think this one's coming back as well. Not even much celebration by the Redskins. I think they know it. I didn't see what happened. Officials talking things over. 6:13 left here in the second quarter. 13-0 Caldwell. Redskins have the football. They did punch it into the end zone, but nobody's celebrating. There's a flag on the play, and it looks to me like that one may come back. Let's see.
The Redskins sideline over there celebrating, so this might be a touchdown. We'll soon find out here, maybe. Anytime.
It looks like this. Here we are.
We have a personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. Touchdown good.
There's your answer. Roughing the passer.
19-0.
And that'll be a 15-yard penalty, which will be assessed on the kickoff. So the Redskins will kick off from the Zep 45-yard line.
And Peffer is in to kick this extra point right now. The holder is number 29, and I want to correct myself. It's Aiden Bender, the holder. Snap, it's down, it's up, it is good. 6:13 left in the second. The score, Caldwell 20, Shenandoah nothing. We'll take a break, back with more right after this.
This is Brian Chandler.
And Hallie Morgenstern Blackstone.
Here from Chandler Funeral Home and Cremation Service. As our local youth from Caldwell and Shenandoah hit the field this season, we want to send a huge shout out and best of luck to each and every one of you.
Whether you're on the field, the court, or the track, we're rooting for your success.
Go Zeps and go Skins. Here's to a fantastic season ahead from all of us at Chandler Funeral Home. Thank you for letting us care for your community for over 2 decades.
Experience luxury and power like never before with the 2020 Ford Explorer, available now at Doane Ford. With its sleek exterior, 3.0-liter EcoBoost V6 engine, and low miles, this Explorer is ready for any adventure. Relax in light sandstone leather seats while staying comfortable with heated and ventilated front seats. Plus, enjoy the premium technology package featuring a 14 speakers and B&O sound system with twin-panel moonroof. Don't miss out on this exceptional driving experience. Visit Doane Ford today, located at 66870 Belmont Morristown Road, or visit them online at DoaneFord.com.
Welcome back. We're at Shenandoah High School. Caldwell Redskins in command of this Super Bowl, 20-0.
Bill, it'll be interesting to see here what Chaz Peffer does with this kick, because he's kicking from the 45 with his leg. He could easily get it to the end zone, so they may just maybe want to squib it down there and see what happens.
You know, I was watching him in pregame. I think he hit a 35-yard field goal. He's got a great leg. And true to his word, he knocks it out of the end zone, so that's going to give the Zeps the ball 1st and 10 on their own.
I thought they may decide
25.
to kind of squib that down there and take a chance maybe to get a bad bounce and possibly recover an onside kick, but Redskins decided to kick it deep, so.
Well, so far the Zeps have been able to move the ball a little bit on the Redskin defense, but not enough to really make too many people on the Caldwell sideline real worried at this point.
Plus, they've been penalized so far 5 times for 36 yards, so kind of stopping himself a little bit too.
We were talking about that in pregame, you know, turnovers, penalties, we got to run the football, those cliches, they always hold true.
They do.
They always hold true. I really appreciate these coaches. Both these coaches this year they've been real open about what they need to do in football games and have given me some detail on what's happening with their football teams when I've gone down and talked to them. And I know that you have some interface time with them as well. So they have been pretty helpful this year as far as I'm concerned. I always feel like I know what's going on with the football teams when I come down here.
Yeah, that time Kunkel was flushed out of the pocket, and a nice open field tackle made there by Owen Hunt for a loss of 2. So again, we're 5:37 to go in the second quarter. The Redskins with a 20-0 lead.
Kunkel in the shotgun formation this time. The snap, little pitch, getting the ball to Colton Gress, and boy, that's something early in the season. Braxton Barnett and Colton Gress, they were able to make connection on passing plays, and right now Shenandoah a little bit more limited what they can do as far as their playbook goes.
Yeah, Gress looked like a rising star there that first game against Edison. He had quite an introduction to his varsity football career, but again, things have changed drastically since week 1. And again, has a nice tackle made by the inside linebacker, Ethan Kroc.
Kunkel in the shotgun again. 3rd down, right around 15 to go. A little screen to the inside. That is Gress.
And the ball's dropped, and that was a completed pass. And I think the Redskins have it.
Yeah, Caldwell saying they've got it. What do the officials say?
Owen Hunt with the recovery.
They're going to say that is Caldwell football. Wow. Big turnover right there. Gress grabbing that football, taking, and actually took a couple of steps offensively, picked up a couple of yards, and then they stripped him of the football.
So the Redskins have really a chance here to kind of put this game possibly out of control. They will take over in great field position from the Shenandoah 19-yard line. Still 4:33 to go here in the second quarter.
It has been all Caldwell to this point. Shotgun formation, leak to the left side of Kroc. Kroc back, looking, gets the ball off, overthrows his target down there.
I think that was Brody Chandler, the intended receiver.
Chandler had a great game last week against Toronto.
He sure did.
Couple of nice catches, made a pick defensively.
And that's a throw for a right-handed quarterback, especially a young man who hasn't spent his whole career as a quarterback. It's tough to make, and Ethan just didn't get his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage on that throw, and it was well over the head of Brody Chandler.
4:28 left here in the second quarter, 20-0 Caldwell.
They're trying to throw the ball just enough to keep the Zep defense honest.
I think that's something they have to do with just about everybody. You have to earn a little bit of respect with that, you know. Here's Kroc. Nice job. Boy, Ethan, he is so hard to bring down. And the Caldwell line out in front of him nicely. That's going to be a gain of right around 6 on the play, so make it 7. 3rd down and 3 now for the Redskins.
And that one's coming back.
It is. It looks like holding. It's going to make it 2nd down and probably looks like right around 16.
That negates a very nice run there.
Yeah, that was a nice run.
By the senior Kroc.
But they've got 2 downs to make that yardage. They don't have to get it all in one chunk here. They're
See,
in
actually, they
four-down
may have
territory.
3 because they're in 4-down territory.
Timeout on the field. 4:08 left here in the first half, 20-0. Redskins with the big lead. They're threatening again. They've dominated this game from the opening kickoff.
So far, a little surprising. Ethan Kroc has 3 completions, and all 3 of those have gone to the running back.
Gavin Leake.
Gavin Leake, yes. All 3 catches for 51 yards. That includes 1 touchdown.
And Gavin he's having a good
He's
night
had a nice
running the
game,
ball.
yes he is. He's a young man that's put a lot of time in a weight room here the last couple years, and it's starting to pay its dividends.
175 pounds. I think he was one of the primary running backs last year. I don't think that he
fought through some injuries last year, his sophomore year.
He had a tough year as a sophomore because of injuries. But his junior season has been pretty successful. Come playoff time, the Redskins are going to need him. You know, and you get the feeling, too, that having beaten both Waterford and Fort Fry, 2 possible opponents, Caldwell's going to be a pretty tough draw for whoever gets them in round 1.
Depending on the health of the team. It's good to see Dalton Egnott back for the Redskins tonight. He's a huge factor.
He was out
offensively
last
and
week.
defensively,
You know,
yes.
and he's one of the better pass rushers, too. Here's a throw by Kroc underneath, and he was a little bit behind the receiver.
That was Brody Chandler.
Yeah, it was Chandler, number 10, who got his hand on the ball but couldn't pull it in.
Just a little inside slant route, and Chandler was actually open. Ball just a little bit behind him.
And that's a tough catch to make, plus it was low. So that'll bring up a 3rd down and 17 to go for the Redskins. They have 2 downs to make that yardage. Shotgun formation. Egnott in the backfield with Kroc. Back and looking is Kroc. Now he's going to step up. He gets through the 20. Nice tackle there, right around the 20-yard line. And that's a good pickup by Kroc as he's going to have it to right around the 18-yard line. It'll be 4th down, but it's going to be a manageable 4th down here, Mike. They've got about 9 to go. They can get a 1st down without getting a touchdown.
Boy, I tell you, nice tackle made there, open field tackle made by, I think that was Van Fossen, 33.
Might have been, and again, one of the defensive backs.
And if he doesn't make that play, that's probably 6 for the Redskins.
Boy, and I wouldn't,
Well, they're going to try a field goal.
Okay, and I thought I watched Pfeffer in pregame, and I mean.
Oh, he's got the leg to do it.
He does. He can hit this field goal. Bender's the holder. The snap. Oh, it's a bad snap. Picked up by Pfeffer. He's going to take it to the outside, the 15, the 10.
Oh, they bent him back over.
Did he make it? He's awfully close to that 1st down. That was not by design. I can tell you that right now.
And I think that looks like from here, that's going to be enough for 1st down.
Let's see. They may have to measure this, Mike, but I think you're right. It's close.
They're going to bring him across.
Okay, it's close, but I think you're right. I think he's got it made. Boy, the snap went right through Bender's hands. It was a high snap, and he couldn't handle it. And Pfeffer pulled it right out of the air and just started to run right to the right side. He may have enough for that 1st down.
Boy, he got tackled awkwardly. Good to see he was able to get up.
All right, officials coming across with the chain. 2:57 left here in the 2nd. Chandler Monument scoreboard says it's 20-0 Caldwell. Here's the chains being stretched, and
it is just
first
enough.
Down. Oh. Boy, that's tough for the Zeps. They did rally, and they did come up, and it looked like they had a chance to pull him down before he made it, but he got just enough.
That was a great effort there by the senior Pfeffer. Not known for his ball-carrying ability. He's a pass catcher. But, boy, he made a nice move and got just enough for a 1st down.
Caldwell Lumber 1st down. The Zeps the Redskins keep the drive alive. 2:56, clock rolling now. Halftime coming up. Boy, the Redskins would like to add to their lead, and the Zeps would like nothing better than to stop them. Snap, straight ahead, Croc. They're all over.
Not much that time.
Tried it right up the middle. And I'm not sure. Number of green jerseys down there, but he had nowhere to go. .2:15, clock rolling now. Redskins with the ball at the 9-yard line. 2nd and goal. Croc with the snap. He's going to try it right up the middle again. Same result. Maybe picks up a yard, maybe 2. Let's see where they mark it.
Zeps have a little bit of size across that defensive front. They're doing a pretty good job right now holding their own.
I think that Caldwell's had a little bit more success to the outside tonight as well.
Yes.
Third and goal. Redskins are at the 6-yard line of Shenandoah. Here's Croc with the ball. This time he tries the right side. He's going to walk in. Touchdown, Redskins.
Boy, nice blocking out here on the exterior. That looked like Eggnot, Peffer.
They really
Leak kind of led them.
They really didn't let anybody with a green jersey get outside, and he walked into the end zone. It's an easy 6. And I think you're right. Credit the offensive line that time. So 1:14 left here in the first half. Peffer getting ready to kick the extra point. 26-0 Caldwell. Snap, it's down, it's up, and good. 1:14 left in the first half. The score, Caldwell 27, Shenandoah nothing. We'll take a break. Back with more right after this.
Just like on the field, we believe in teamwork with our customers. This is Ashley Rich from the Farmers and Merchants Bank on the Square in Caldwell. With our services, you can bank from your home, the office, or even at the stadium. You can sit back and enjoy the game knowing your money is in great hands. Good luck to all the local teams this year from everyone at the Farmers and Merchants Bank, member FDIC.
This is Ken Perkins. Robin and I and the staff at McVeigh Perkins Funeral Home want to wish Noble County athletes from Shenandoah and Caldwell High Schools an exciting fall sports season. We also want to wish all students a successful school year on and off the field. In our tight-knit community, our kids are our future, and we are honored to watch them succeed. McVeigh Perkins Funeral Home invites you to visit us at www.mcveigh-perkins.com or on Facebook.
Welcome back, Redskins. Put it across for 6 more. It's 27-0 Caldwell. 1:14 left here in the first half. Caldwell getting ready to kick off. Landon Moore back deep to receive. And one of the upmen's going to take it for the Zeps. Spinning, that might be Kunkel.
That's Parker Neff, I believe, number 15.
15, not 16. Thank you very much, sir. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Zeps, right around the 25-yard line.
Not much time left here, just 1:08.
Boy, you know right now they'd like to break a big run, get some points before the first half closes out, get a little bit of momentum going into the locker room.
At least a first down or two. They only have 1 first down this entire first half, but they will receive the second half kickoff.
So let's see what Coach Mack has up his sleeve here. Davin Kunkel, the quarterback, got running backs to either side. He's in the shotgun formation, more in motion. The snap Kunkel's back, looking. He steps up now, makes one man miss, makes another man miss. He's going to pick, is that a fumble?
That's a fumble. That's picked up by Leak.
Oh, boy. That's disastrous, and it looks like Kunkel is on the ground. Did he get hurt? Yeah, they're coming across the field, and that is Davin Kunkel. He's down.
I hate to see that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They came out quickly. That can't be good.
Well, let's see. 55.6 seconds left here in the first half. The score, Caldwell 27, Shenandoah nothing. That's our Chandler Monument scoreboard. We're going to take a quick break while they address this injury problem. We'll be back with more from Shenandoah High School right after this.
Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance Company is a proud supporter of high school football. Contact one of the 42 agencies writing for Patrons Buckeye for a quote from your local insurance company covering Ohio. Whether you need coverage for your home, mobile home, cabin, seasonal home, a garage, or even farm equipment, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance Company is located in Caldwell, Ohio, and can help. Visit our website, patronsbuckeye.com.
At People's Bank, we're more than just a bank. As a community bank, we are committed to where we work and live, giving back to the organizations you care about through sponsorships, donations, and volunteer hours. When you bank with People's, you're not just a client, you're part of a community of neighbors helping neighbors. People's Bank, working together, building success. Member FDIC. Visit us at pebo.com.
Southeastern Ohio Credit Union is a proud sponsor of the Cambridge Bobcats. Southeastern Ohio Credit Union is owned by the membership and exists to provide, in a friendly atmosphere, high-quality financial services at favorable terms to its members while maintaining the long-term financial stability of the credit union. Visit southeasternohiocu.org for more information. Southeastern Ohio Credit Union. Go Bobcats! Stoney's RV Center is the place that makes buying a new RV easy. Ask about their on-site financing with very affordable payments, and they make on-site camper service calls to the area campgrounds. Stoney's RV also carries cargo trailers, car haulers, horse and stock trailers, and open utility trailers. They install hitch systems and fill propane tanks too. Stoney's RV Center, the place that takes camping to the next level, and a proud sponsor of our area high school sports teams. Everyone's looking for an encouraging sign in today's economy. The fact is, you'll find one right here in Caldwell at State Farm Sue Snowd's office. Because State Farm agents like Sue have been here helping people protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and they consider that a very good sign. See State Farm agent Sue Snowd at 400 East Street, Caldwell. Sue Snowd State Farm is a proud supporter of high school sports.
Welcome back. We're at Shenandoah High School. Redskins have the football. Davin Kunkel did walk off the field under his own power. A little wobbly, Mike.
He was a little wobbly. I couldn't tell if they were checking for a possible concussion, but one leg looked like it was a little wobbly too.
Croc cutting it up. He breaks a tackle, breaks another one. He's down inside the 15 to right around the 11-yard line. Nice run that time by Ethan Croc.
But we've got another penalty on the play. Holding against the Redskins.
That one is coming back, sir. 45.6 seconds left, and Shenandoah would like nothing more than to dodge any kind of points on the scoreboard. 27-0. One more touchdown, and it'll be a running clock in the second half. It's going to pull the ball all the way back to the Shenandoah 38-yard line. First down, 21 to go for the Redskins.
The Redskins do have 2 more timeouts left here in the first half.
Here's this lineup with Egnott in the backfield again. They put him in there for extra blocking. Croc is back. He's looking, guns the ball down the field. He's got to be wide open. That's Leak, and he can't find the football. Looked to me like he kind of threw it to the flag, and I think Leak was looking in and tried to adjust and couldn't make the catch.
Yeah, he tried to turn around and got his feet kind of tangled, and he wasn't knocked down. He went down on his own. So it'll bring up a 2nd and 21 from the Zep 38-yard line. Again, just 27.3 seconds ago here in the second quarter.
It has been all Caldwell. Croc with the football. He's being rushed, cuts it back up inside. That's Leak. Breaks one tackle, the 35, the 30, the 20. He's down inside the 20. They're going to ride him down right around the 14-yard line. 15.9 seconds left. That'll be enough for a Caldwell Lumber first down if it stands. Timeout Caldwell. Great job that time by Croc getting the ball to Leak, and then Leak creating some running room yards after catch. Nice play by the Redskins.
Again, I tell you, that's 2 or 3 times that the Redskins have run that little screen pass, and that's been very effective this evening. And Leak, once he caught it, he used his running back skills, planted that right foot in, and immediately cut up the middle, and had enough to pick up a first down. So still 1 timeout left for the Redskins. 15.9 seconds ago, you got to think they have at least time for 2 plays and possibly 3.
Coach Rucker, I like what he's doing, basically showing opponents on film, hey, we do more than run the football.
Yeah.
Something you have to prepare for.
Again, they've been a little bit more limited offensively this year with the injury to Alex Hurlin, who was a multi-purpose young man who could run it, catch it.
Probably the fastest player on the Caldwell team. I mean, I don't time them, but you know Hurlin he was one of the better athletes. I'll tell you that right now. All right, Redskins with the football. Croc with the snap, back and looking. He's going to dump it off again. That's Leak. He's going to be down inside the 5. He's going to get out of bounds. 9.3 seconds left. It was a nice gain, Mike, and I think even more important, he got out of bounds.
Did I see the official just pick up a flag again?
That may have been a marker. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't tell. Look, we're about to find out. Been a lot of flags thrown here in the first half.
Wow, another holding penalty.
Wow.
Although that's only going to move the ball back, it's a spot of the foul penalty to right around the 16-yard line. So it'll be first down there for Caldwell. They can get a first down without getting a touchdown, although they've only got 9.3 seconds left here in the first half.
That's 5 penalties for 55 yards against the Redskins here in the first half.
And some of them have been pretty costly.
That especially. Instead of 1st and 10 or 1st and goal from the 6, you're 1st and 12 from the 16.
Here's Croc rolling to the left side. He's looking, can't find anybody. Now he's going to dump it off, and that pass falls short. I'm not sure if he just wasn't throwing that one away. 2.6 seconds left in the first half. So it looks like there'll only be one more play for the Redskins. Do they try a field goal again, or?
I would say, yeah, because
here comes Peffer.
Peffer's coming out with the tee.
The last time they tried this, the snap was high. Peffer was able to grab it, and he was able to run and get a first down.
So they'll set this at the 23-yard line, so it'll be a 33-yard field goal attempt, which will be the last play here of the first half.
Bender with the hold. It's down. It's up. And that has got the distance. And
he drilled it.
Good. End of the first half with an exclamation point. I don't know if that is a career long for Chaz Peffer, but it's got to be close. We are at halftime, Mike. Pretty good first half by the Redskins as they look to march on to the playoffs, and they're just a few points away from having a running clock here in the second half.
Well, I tell you what, that was an impressive kick there for Peffer. There was no doubt about that one. He drilled that down the middle with plenty to spare.
Good snap that time. The score at half, it is Caldwell 30, Shenandoah nothing. We're going to take a break. We're going to check in with our AVC halftime show, pay a few bills, and we'll be back with more right after this.
Welcome to the ABC Sports Halftime Show. I'm Dave Hilliard along with Brett Klein. Brett, week 10, we've made it to the end of the regular season.
Yeah, we're at the very end of this regular season, which is crazy to think about. Not only do we have games to wrap up for this week, but we have playoffs to look forward to.
We got
We're
playoffs
talking
to talk about.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Well, 5 games on the family of ABC stations tonight, starting off with the Noble County Super Bowl.
Noble County Super Bowl on KC 105 and Wire PTV, available on yourradioplace.com. Dave, the 61st meeting between these two teams, and we looked at the record between these two teams, 31, 28, and 1. And Caldwell has won the past 3, which means that before these 3 games, it was 28, 28, and 1.
So I guess always throw out the records when these two teams play because you never know who can win. It's always been very closely contested.
Absolutely.
So that should be a good one on YRP-TV and also KC 105. We've got St. Clairsville visiting Cambridge, and these two teams, they've played 48 times since 1945, and St. C, they've just dominated it. They've won 32 of those games, and they've won 4 of the last 5. And, of course, Cambridge, to avoid a winless season, again, 2 in a row. They've got a win tonight, but they've got their hands full. St. Clairsville undefeated, 9-0.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for the Bobcats to pull out a win. I mean, we've seen these two teams meet a handful of times, especially with Cambridge making that transition over to the Buckeye 8.
Right.
You see a lot of these teams over in the eastern part of the state playing a lot more. Barnesville to join the Buckeye 8 here within the next couple of years.
Right.
They're doing a couple other sports now, but football will be in the works here soon, so we can look forward to a couple of, Barnesville St. C, Barnesville Martins Ferry.
Exactly.
A couple games you're not seeing, but Cambridge facing a lot of tough competition within this conference, and St. Clairsville is no exception to that.
Well, and then I'm down at Crooksville tonight. Maysville at Crooksville. 3-6 Maysville at the Crooksville Ceramics 4-5. That's a Nash Icon 98.5-107.9 game. And the Panthers are coming off of a big upset. They beat Meadowbrook last week, 13-6. Crooksville trying to get to a 500 record, and they've got a 4-game losing streak right now that they're trying to break as well. Maysville, they lead the overall series between these two teams 35-30, and they have beat Crooksville 15 straight times. So I would say the odds are probably in the Panthers' favor tonight. Now also on YRP-TV, we've got Tri-Valley at John Glenn, and this is kind of just a game for pride for John Glenn because their season's going to be done after tonight.
Yes.
Scotties, they're probably going to play 2 home games in the playoffs, but boy, Tri-Valley have had their way in this rivalry. They have won 15 of the last 17 games between these two teams. And then finally, Brett, probably the best game in terms of record-wise is Union Local at Barnesville tonight.
Yeah, Union Local coming into this game 8-1. They had a loss to St. Clairsville just recently, and then Barnesville continuing their regular season winning streak, and they're looking to continue that.
Yes.
And with the win, Barnesville is also looking to host 2 playoff games,
Right.
just the same as Tri-Valley, because when you're 10-0 in the regular season and you're beating teams
You're beating some
like
good
it's
ones.
nobody's business, then you're bound to host a couple games, which is good for Barnesville because what's nice about them hosting and being such a high seed in their region, it is a tough region.
Yes, a very tough region.
To be able to advance in that playoffs, it builds your team's
Get you
confidence.
some chances, yes.
Exactly. And then obviously, as we've seen in the past couple years, we've seen Wheelersburg knock Barnesville out of the playoffs
Yes.
the past 2 years. So we're going to see how these first 2 home games fare for the Shamrocks. So stay tuned for what we're covering for the playoffs. We'll have our schedule out after they release what the rankings are going to be on Sunday. So stay tuned to what we have going on, our game schedule, and where we're going to be at.
Well, last week, we'll go over some of the things from last week that happened. Now, New Lex, they won the small school. They beat Crooksville 38-10, and that
wraps up the small school division championship for them. A very nice football team. I had a chance to see them play this year. Also, West M, just super impressive. 4 straight shutouts. They beat Coshocton 44-0. That was, I came away really impressed seeing the Tornadoes play, and 4 straight shutouts now. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I would say that, if you put West M and New Lexington in a matchup again, because they did play earlier this year, and it was a close game that New Lexington came away with, but I think it would be an even closer game and an even tougher battle because West M's defense, they've said, it's our time to time to shine. It's exactly what they've been doing. So, MVL small school, they're fighting, and over on the MVL big school, we have a champion crowned there as well, I believe.
At least they're guaranteed a share. It's Tri-Valley,
right.
Yes. They would have to beat John Glenn, but it's probably going to happen the way things have been going for that series. But they beat Sheridan 21-9 last week, and that pretty much wrapped up a share of the MVL Big School title. Of course, another game in that Big School that was really entertaining that we had on ABC, Philo came back and beat John Glenn 20-14.
Yeah, that game over at Sam Hatfield Stadium. Again, we had that on YRPTV, yourradioplace.com, is where you can go and view all of this. I mean, a back-and-forth battle, 2 defenses that really didn't want to let the other team score.
Right.
But, we have Philo coming down towards the end of the game. And when you have, especially in a game we'll talk about here in a second, when you have 2 games that come down to not only the last drives, but even potentially the last play of the game.
Yes.
Always entertaining to watch this late in the season. And that leads us into Meadowbrook and Maysville. You said an upset, Dave. Maysville over Meadowbrook.
I said it was an upset because Maysville, record-wise, a little bit not as good as Meadowbrook, but they won the football game 13-6, came down to the very last play of the game. A receiver from Meadowbrook tackled on the 2-yard line. Time ran out. They had no timeouts left. We were saying we thought they needed to throw the ball into the end zone, and, hindsight's 2020. They probably should have tried to throw it into the end zone. Receiver got tackled right inside the 2-yard line, and time ran out. But credit to Maysville. They played great pass defense all night long, really frustrated Justice Huey and the Meadowbrook passing attack. And then the other game we'll talk about, Caldwell, they lost 28-21 to a very good Toronto team.
And
Toronto,
a close one.
7-2, and it was 28-21 in that game.
Yeah, so what we understand, Caldwell had a 21-20 lead in the fourth quarter. Toronto went down, they scored, went for 2, got it, 28-21, and then with the time left, Caldwell just was unable to get it in the end zone.
So that kind of wraps up all the things that we carried last week. Also, we talked about some other games that we did not carry, but as Brett said, when we have the pairings come out, we'll have a new schedule for next week for our Week 11 playoff games.
Yep.
And speaking of the playoffs, when we come back to the ABC Sports Halftime Show, Brett and I will talk about the playoffs.
ABC Communications is your one-stop destination for all your marketing and communication needs. Whether you are a small business or a large corporation, our expert team specializes in creating customized solutions that drive results. From radio advertising and digital marketing to graphic design and event promotions, we've got the tools to make your brand stand out. Locally owned and operated, ABC Communications is dedicated to helping you connect with your audience and grow your business. Trust us to take your marketing to the next level.
Dave Hilliard, Brett Klein back here at the ABC Sports Halftime Show. Brett, it's time to talk about the playoffs.
It's playoff season. It's coming up next week. It's crazy to think that we've already gone through 10 weeks of high school football.
Yes.
And here we are talking about the playoffs.
Now, mind you, we're going to talk about percentage chances of being in the playoffs. That's going into these games. And we're getting all this information. I used to be a math teacher, but I'm not the one that comes up with this. Drew Pasteur has a website. It's called fantastic50.net, and that's where we're getting our information. You can get the same stuff on Joe Idle or any of the other ones, but really like his. He's a math professor at the University at Worcester. So
if you like numbers, hey, this next bit is for you.
This is you. So we'll start with Division 3, Region 11. That's where the local teams reside here. Tri-Valley, basically a 98% chance of being the number 3 seed. So they're pretty much locked into getting to host 2 games. Now, Sheridan, the other team in Region 11, Division 3 in our area, they still have their 67% chance of making it, but a 33% chance of not making it. And, of course, we've already talked about John Glenn being knocked out of the playoffs. But, Brett, a tough region. Linden, McKinley, and Marietta, both teams that are 6-3 going into Week 10. probably not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
That's
we talked
just,
about a handful of situations. I mean, obviously, what the biggest thing we talked about is it makes a difference who you beat.
Right.
And they have point calculations for all of this.
Yes.
We have a post out on our website that has these calculations from the OHSAA.
Yep.
So you can check that out and maybe
Yep.
get some insight into what's going on. Sheridan, a big game to wrap out the season.
Yes. And they're playing New Lex, so that could basically, if they win, they're in for sure. But, boy, Division III, Region 11, the teams, Bishop Watterson, undefeated. Steubenville, undefeated. Tri-Valley, undefeated. Athens, undefeated. Licking Valley, 1 loss. Hey, that was to West M. Bloom Carroll, who's been a state finalist before, 7-2. Granville has been really good the last 10 years or so, 8-1. Dover, 7-2. Jackson, who's going to win the Frontier Athletic Conference, and they have played Tri-Valley in the playoffs here, and they're a tough out, very physical team. They're 7-2, and then of course you throw in Bishop Hartley. You've got all kinds of really good
It's
teams. Tough region, Division III, Region 11. Now, let's move over to Division 4, Region 15, and that's where New Lex, Philo, and Maysville all reside. And I'm broadcasting the Maysville game tonight. Maysville still, they got a chance.
1%.
A 1% chance of being in the playoffs. So you're telling me there's still a chance?
There's still a chance.
It would take a lot of things to happen, but there's still a 1% chance. And then looking at Philo, gosh, Brett, Philo has really turned it on in the second half of the season.
Absolutely. We look at, their record, 5-4. If you were to say, going into the season, the Philo Electrics are going to finish about just above 500 and they have a 6-4 record. They do play more. They're playing Morgan tonight.
Right.
So, you'd like to think that Philo can walk away with that one pretty easily. But if you were to say, their record's kind of meh, they had some really big losses and they're beating a couple teams. They don't have it. They're locked. Playoff locked.
They're in. They're in for sure. It's just a matter of where they're seated. They actually have a 21% chance of hosting a playoff game. So, again, the right things would have to happen for them. And then New Lex, pretty much they're locked in. They're going to play at home. But if they would win, probably the number 3 seed tonight. If they lose, there's a possibility they could be the number 5 seed and only get to play 1 home game instead. So that's Division 4, Region 15. Now, Division 5, Region 19.
Talk about tough.
We were talking about Division 3, Region 11, but Region 19, it is a beast. You got Barnesville in there, 9-0, owner of the second longest winning streak regular season in the state of Ohio. And Brett, we just mentioned this a little bit ago. They've got a 64% chance of being the number 3 seed. If they're the number 3 seed, you play the number 14 in the first game. And who has a 70% chance of being the number 4 seed?
That would be the Wheelersburg Pirates.
The Wheelersburg Pirates, who seems to be the Barnesville Kryptonite. Ooh.
Past 2 seasons in the playoffs, they have kicked Barnesville out.
That would just be a really tough matchup for the first round of the playoffs. Now, also up there, Ironton, a team many people think, as regardless of division, could be one of the best teams in the state of Ohio. You got Harvest Prep, who beat Division I Pick Central in there. Fairland, 8-1. West M is in there, who shut out their last 4 opponents. So a really strong field there. West M pretty much locked in to getting a home game as well. Now, as for Meadowbrook, they got a 98% chance of missing the playoffs, but that means a 2% chance that they're still in. And Crooksville, unfortunately, they are mathematically eliminated. So, again, that Region 19, and I'm not so sure, I don't really think you want to finish the season as, the number 15 or 16 in that region, because then you're going to be playing a really good football team in the first round of the playoffs.
And it depends, because if you're a team like, Northwest, and you're saying, yep, we have to go to Ironton.
Yeah, that's probably not going to be
bit of a journey.
Not the best thing for your team. Finally, we'll take a look at Division 6, Region 23, and that's where Monroe Central resides. And with even being a 9-1 team, if they would win tonight, Brett, they're not going to get a home game, it looks like.
They have less than a 10% chance to get one of the top 8 seeds. So even 9-1, you're traveling for the first week of the playoffs.
And then we've got a little local flavor here. Caldwell pretty much locked into the playoffs. They're looking like at an 83% chance of being the number 14 seed. And that means they could possibly play Waterford in the first game, which that was
They
not
did.
unfamiliar.
They took down Waterford earlier this year, and they've
Yep.
seen them in the playoffs last year when they made their state run. So we're going to see it. If that is that matchup, we're going to see if Waterford wants their revenge or if Caldwell can continue to dominate them as they have in the past.
And in Buckeye Trail, they have a 68% chance of making the playoffs. So it's again looking if, wherever they end up here, it looks like probably the number 16 or 15 seed, as does Bishop Rosecrans. They're looking at either the 15 or 16 seed, depending upon what they can do. And then, again, we'll mention it. Shenandoah, the Zeps, they've got a 1% chance of making the playoffs. They can still do it.
Any glimmer of hope is a glimmer of hope.
You got a glimmer of hope going into that last game, into the Noble County Super Bowl. So, anyway, that's a look at all the playoffs. And as Brett mentioned, next week we'll have a schedule. Brett, we just wait for those pairings. When do those come out for us?
They will work on those Sundays, so
Okay.
we're hoping, late afternoon Sunday we have something that we can say, hey, this is the games we're going to look at covering to get some local coverage out for the students and all the programs going on there. So be on the lookout for that. We're hoping to have something put out Monday that says, hey, this is the games we're covering. Businesses, if they want to be a part of these teams' playoff runs, then obviously they know how to get into contact with us.
Right.
And, a lot of things that we're looking forward to. And then after football, Dave, we're talking basketball.
I know, it's coming up. It's on the horizon. But right now, we'll worry about football. And, of course, we'll be back next week, Week 11, playoffs, Round 1 for the ABC Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back. Noble County Super Bowl this year in Sayersville. Home of the Shenandoah Zeps. Hasn't been a good first half for the Zeps. Redskins have a 30-0 lead. Mike Palaziak, they have dominated this football game from the beginning. And injury problems, of course, affecting the Zeps, particularly the injury to number 2 Braxton Barnett, the junior quarterback. And without Braxton, passing game has been kind of limited. Without that passing game, the Redskins have been able to key on the Shenandoah run, and they haven't been able to generate any kind of offense.
I have them very unofficial at the half, only 21 total yards in the first 2 quarters. I have Davin Kunkel, just 1 out of 2 passes attempted, 3 yards on the ground. They have 12 attempts, 18 total yards. Of course, that's including the lost yardage and the sacks. But the total domination by the Redskins. It would have been interesting to see what type of a game we'd have been in for with a healthy Braxton Barnett. But the young man, it's a shame because I got a chance to meet him a couple weeks ago, and what a fine young man. And it's too bad what happened to him, but I think he's making a smart move because he's got hopefully a long, healthy.
He's got
life ahead of him.
One more year to go in probably playing some football and doing some things like that.
If he decides that's what he wants to do, but he knows his future is probably in track.
Well, how many events was he in at States? Was it 4 events?
As a sophomore, he was on the podium, which means you had to be top 8 in 4 events last year at the state track meet, and that's phenomenal. And they say, and I unfortunately have not had a chance to see him. They say he's as good a hurdler as you're going to ever see in this area.
Well, he looks like a hurdler, doesn't he?
He
Long,
does,
lanky,
yes.
He's very athletic, he can run. We've seen him have some great games running the football. And in fact, Coach McLean told me, he said, well, he's an excellent quarterback. He said he would be an outstanding wide receiver as well.
He's got the athletic ability. He could do pretty much whatever he wanted to do. Unfortunately, he can only do one thing at a time.
Hey, I want to thank our sponsors. I don't want to get too far before we do that. Without them, we could not be here. West 40 Auto Sales, Cedar Ridge Behavioral Health Solutions, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance, McVeigh Perkins Funeral Home, Southeastern Ohio Credit Union, Allen Hunter State Farm, Farmers and Merchants Bank, Ben Schaefer Realty, Bicon Services, Stoney's RV Sales and Service, Doan Ford, WB Green Insurance, People's Bank, Chandler Funeral Home, and Sue Snowed State Farm. Without these sponsors, we could not be here. Also, hey, want to mention this, Plus One Pizza. We have a double pizza night tonight. We will be awarding 2 players of the game, one for Caldwell, one for Shenandoah. It's a rare night when they trust us with 2 pizzas.
And right now, those would be very difficult to choose from because you've got 2 or 3 young men for Caldwell in the first half, had great first halves, and we're kind of still waiting for somebody from Shenandoah to kind of step up here in the second half. But I said pretty much total domination, and the 2 turnovers that the Zeps had just added, more misery to the outcome for them here.
And the quarterback, Davin Kunkel, the sophomore, he was hurt on that final turnover. We're not sure about his status for this second half, so that'll play into what the Zeps can do as well.
Yeah, and if he's unable to come back, I believe they would go to Hunter Street, who's a 140-pound freshman, would have to take over back there, and that would not be an enviable position for him to be in here in the second half.
Well, the Redskins have done a pretty good job on the line of scrimmage tonight, and this is something that Coach Rucker talked about. He said, I want 11 guys flying to the football. He said our first assignment is find it. Our second assignment is fly to the football. So he is looking to be very aggressive defensively. And one thing the Redskins did last week, 3 goal line stands against the Toronto Red Knights. Outstanding football defensively. So they're gearing up for the playoffs right now.
And we said before, if you missed this early, right now, there's a good possibility with the win here tonight. It looks that's like right now it's very probable. It looks like they probably would have either Waterford or Fort Fry on the road next week with another possibility, maybe the Ridgewood Generals. They are playing at Garraway, and both of those teams are 8-1 coming into this evening. So that's a daunting task for the Generals to go up there. But if they could pull out a win against the Pirates of Garraway, they have a possibility of maybe slipping into that 3 spot. So, but regardless for the Redskins, that would be 3 very, very doable trips, whether you had to go to Ridgewood or whether you had to go to Waterford or Fort Fry.
Redskins would be a tough draw for anybody. They played good defense. They're tough on the line of scrimmage. And, of course, you've got Ethan Kroc. He's a big quarterback. And Gavin Leake, the last couple weeks, Mike, his play has started to pick up. He's looked better and better. He's blocking, he's catching passes, he's running the football. He's starting to have a really good year here.
I tell you, tonight he's off to a really good start. I've got, in fact, Ethan Kroc has completed 5 passes, all 5 of those to the junior Gavin Leake for 86 yards and a touchdown. And I also have Leake 8 carries for 35 yards in the first half. So he's starting to make his presence known here. Again, he spent an injury-riddled sophomore year last year, has spent a lot of time in the weight room and just now basically coming into his own.
Yes, and the Redskins, as we said, gearing up. Now it is 30-0, not looking like the Zeps are going to come back, but you do know that this is a rivalry game, and I don't look for anybody in green and white to quit right now. Coach Mack, he's got them coached up at halftime, and the big question for the Zeps is who's going to step out, who's going to be the quarterback? Will it be Davin Kunkel, who has the experience, or will they have to put the freshman in? That is number 12, Hunter Street. So a couple of different possibilities for Shenandoah. They will receive the kickoff, so we're going to know pretty soon who's going to be under center for Shenandoah.
I do see Davin Kunkel standing down there along the sidelines. He has his helmet on, appearing as if he will be the starting quarterback for the Zeps here in the second half.
All right, Redskins heading for the sidelines. 1:15 left before we kick here. So your coach, Chance Rucker, what are you looking to do in the second half?
One, why change what you've done the first half? Just continue to be aggressive. Right now, the hope for him, I'm sure, is that they can get through this second half with no injuries so they can be as healthy as possible when the playoffs do start next week.
Well, I'll tell you something else, and this is just something that crossed my mind. Leake's having a great night, and of course Ethan Kroc is having a good night as well. I think they might want to try to get a few more. Number 10, Brody Chandler, had a great week last week catching. On defense, he intercepted a pass.
Made a great interception.
Caught a couple of passes last week. It would be nice to get him and Chaz Peffer, the wideouts, involved in the offense to give those teams that they'll be playing in the playoffs something to think about.
Ethan Kroc has thrown a couple balls each of those kids' ways, and unfortunately for them, the Zeps did have pretty good defense on those plays.
Oh, here's an onside kick, and that's going to be picked up by the Redskins.
And that cannot be returned.
Yeah. Owen Hunt is going to pick it up at the 49-yard line. It's going to be Caldwell football. They did this against Toronto. Man, did it change momentum. Had to give Coach Rucker a lot of credit in that game. They came out onside kick. It was successful against the Red Knights, and Caldwell used that momentum in the entire second half, almost pulled that one out.
Bill, and I think we've been wrong all year. I think it's 30 points that gets the running clock. We always thought it was 32, but that clock is running right now as we speak.
Well, shotgun formation, Kroc with Gavin Leake right behind him in the pistol. The snap, the pitch to Leak. He's headed to the left side, the 45, the 40. He breaks it upside. He breaks it up the field, the 20, 10, 5, and touchdown, Caldwell. There's a flag on the play down here. One of the Zeps is down. That could be a cut block.
That, I believe, was number 11, Hunter House, down on the field.
Hunter was having an excellent year when Braxton Barnett was the quarterback. Of course, the Zeps a little bit more pass-friendly when Barnett was under center. That's going to be on Chandler.
And that's going to bring back a very nice run by Gavin Lake. 49-yard touchdown run will be brought back, and they will start right back where they began that last play at, the Zep 49-yard line. So you think that hold took place at the 39-yard line?
It must have. Spot of the foul penalty. Clock is running. Coming up on 10 minutes left here in the third quarter. Shotgun formation.
That's
now a man
in
in
motion.
Here comes Kroc, the right side, the 50, the 45, pulling a couple of Zeps along with him. The big quarterback rumbles to right around the 40-yard line. That is going to be close to a first down. Don't think he
maybe just about a yard short.
Don't think didn't quite make it. Redskins come out and they are in attack mode.
That's 20 carries on the night for the senior Ethan Kroc for 124 yards.
You know, and that's just a night's work for him. He's
It
used
is.
to that. He really is. Here's the snap. Now they're going to swing it out to Leak again.
Nice one-handed catch by Leak
Cutting
out
back
there.
inside. Now, he's not going to pick up much, but that's enough for a first down. And that's a great job by Leak to grab that football. Oh, that's got to be unsportsmanlike right there. Because that came.
They're going to call that against the Caldwell, I believe, unsportsmanlike.
Boy, that'll hurt.
That's probably a dead ball penalty.
And I mean, that was a couple, maybe 3 or 4 seconds after the play was over. You know, in a rivalry game like this, they're calling it, and they're just saying unsportsmanlike white. But
yeah, they didn't say who it was against.
In a rivalry game like this, Mike, where and we talked about it, the stadium here is filled. It's almost like a Noble County block party here tonight. Parking lots are filled, people everywhere. Everybody knows everybody else. These games mean so much to these kids.
You still have to be able to control your emotions. I know it gets emotional. You get all fired to play this game, but you still have to contain those emotions because you're only hurting your teammates when you don't.
Here's Ethan Kroc with a run now, trying the right side. He's going to cut it back, makes one man miss. That's Moore dragging him down, but boy, it wasn't easy. He's close to a first down again.
And a nice job by Moore, sportsmanlike, helping Ethan Kroc back up to his feet.
It's a gain of 7 on the play. And Landon Moore, a senior. Don't want to forget to note some of the seniors here on the Shenandoah team. Only 2 this year that I can see. Landon Moore and Jasper Hill. That's it. Well, I'm sorry. There's a few more down here under the injured list. Kyle Wheeler and Marcus Gibson. Those are the seniors for the Zeps. Now, the great news for the Redskins is it looks like they're going to have another week to play some football. Short gain on that second down, so that's going to bring up a 3rd and 1 now for the Redskins. They've got the ball at the Shenandoah 41-yard line. I think at the 42. Shotgun formation. Gavin Leake right to the left of Ethan Kroc. Kroc, the quarterback. The snap, straight ahead. Makes one man miss, and a flag comes flying in. Boy. And is it just me? And there's another flag. Are the officials trying to get control of this football game?
I tell you what, and bad news for the Redskins. Gavin Leake came up limping after that play.
He's still on his feet. He's still on the field, but he is limping badly. He's trying to walk it off. 5:50 left now here in the 3rd quarter. Let's see. Holding on Caldwell.
After the play, dead ball, unfortunately, Shenandoah coach.
Oh, my.
Coach Mack getting called for an
I
unsportsmanlike
don't know what that was
penalty.
all about.
He was angry about something.
So it's a 10-yard penalty against the Redskins, but 15 against the Zeps.
That's going to be enough
to bring up a first down.
Caldwell Lumber first down for the Redskins. They're going to retain possession. And, Mike, we've only got 5 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. With all these penalties and all this moving back and forth, time rolling off the clock. Shotgun formation. Looks like Leake's in there. The snap, back and looking, down the middle of the field.
That was intended for Bender, I believe.
Yeah,
number
it was.
29.
And he couldn't come up with a catch. Right down the middle of the field. Zeps secondary has done a nice job tonight. They made a number of big tackles. They've done a good job covering the receivers. Problem has been when Ethan Kroc hasn't found a receiver, he's took off and run.
That's probably when he is at his best.
He looks like Ben Roethlisberger out there. Just a big, rangy kid. Kroc with the snap. He's trying the left side this time. Makes one man miss, and he's going to pick up right around 7 on the play. It didn't look like he should get 1. Under 4 minutes now left in the ball game.
22 carries for 140 yards so far this evening for the 6'3", 205-pound senior.
Coming up on 3:40 left here in the 3rd quarter. The scoreboard says it's Caldwell 30, Shenandoah nothing. That's our Chandler Monument scoreboard. The snap, Kroc has it, guns it out to the right side. That's Leake again. The 30 makes one man miss. The 25, he's down inside the 20. Some good hard running by Gavin Leake again, and he's going to have a Caldwell Lumber first down. No flags this time. Boy, and again, they've worked those screen passes, those passes underneath. They've just done a nice job with that tonight.
That's a nice job that time by Leake, too. He caught the ball and saw all the momentum of the defense was going to his right. Made a nice sharp cut back inside to pick up another 7 or 8 yards.
Plenty of yak. Yards after catch. Here's the snap. Kroc's got it straight ahead.
Boy, somebody's holding on for dear life.
Short yardage. That time they had Eggnot in the backfield. That's like putting a guard right beside you.
It pretty much is, yes. That was number 67, Marcus Gibson, on the play.
Gain of 3, second down and 7. 2:25 left in the third. Boy, the clock just continues to roll here. The snap straight ahead. Kroc. The 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Ethan Kroc, knocking the last man who had a chance to get him right over. And that's going to make it 36-0. 1:57 left here in the third quarter. Now, should the clock continue to roll?
The clock should stop after that, yes.
After a score. But it continues to roll. All right. Pfeffer with the attempt for extra point here. Bender's the holder. Snap, it's down, it's up, it is good. 1:25 left here in the third quarter. The score, Caldwell 37, Shenandoah nothing. We'll take a break. Back with more right after this.
This is Brian Chandler.
And Hallie Morgenstern Blackstone.
Here from Chandler Funeral Home and Cremation Service. As our local youth from Caldwell and Shenandoah hit the field this season, we want to send a huge shout out and best of luck to each and every one of you.
Whether you're on the field, the court, or the track, we're rooting for your success.
Go Zeps and go Skins. Here's to a fantastic season ahead from all of us at Chandler Funeral Home. Thank you for letting us care for your community for over 2 decades.
Just like on the field, we believe in teamwork with our customers. This is Ashley Rich from the Farmers and Merchants Bank on the Square in Caldwell. With our services, you can bank from your home, the office, or even at the stadium. You can sit back and enjoy the game knowing your money is in great hands. Good luck to all the local teams this year from everyone at the Farmers and Merchants Bank, member FDIC.
We're back, Shenandoah High School. Redskins with the running clock. Mike, they had the ball for almost the entire third quarter.
They did.
Scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, they started out with an onside kick and kept it, like you said, pretty much the entire third quarter.
Here's the kick. It's going to run out of bounds, so that's going to give the Zeps the ball at right around the 35-yard line.
That's the second time that Pfeffer's done that tonight, and that's going to be something that they'll have to shore up a little bit next week. You get to the playoffs, those mistakes like that can't be made. That's unforced.
Want to thank our sponsors once again: Sue Snowd State Farm, Chandler Funeral Home, People's Bank, WB Green Insurance, Doan Ford, Stoney's RV Sales and Service, Bicon Services, Ben Schaefer Realty, Farmers and Merchants Bank, Allen Hunter State Farm, Southeastern Ohio Credit Union, McVeigh Perkins Funeral Home, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance, Cedar Ridge Behavioral Health Solutions, and West 40 Auto Sales. Zeps coming onto the field. They will have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. This will be their first play offensively in the third quarter. We're coming up on the end. Just 15 seconds left here.
And the freshman Hunter Street is the quarterback now for the Zeps.
Bouncing it to the outside. That's Landon Moore. That's a nice gain. Moore's going to be drugged down right around the 47-yard line. A nice run by the senior there. That's a Caldwell Lumber first down. Boy, he runs tough.
He does. It's a nice cut on his part. He started up inside. There was nothing there. Was able to get to the outside, broke contained. And if not for Gavin Lake, that would have been a touchdown for the Zeps.
All right. Tell you what, Mike, that's the end of the third quarter, that play right there. We're going to take a quick break here. The score, Caldwell 37, Shenandoah nothing. We'll be back with more right after this.
This is Ken Perkins. Robin and I and the staff at McVeigh Perkins Funeral Home want to wish Noble County athletes from Shenandoah and Caldwell High Schools an exciting fall sports season. We also want to wish all students a successful school year on and off the field. In our tight-knit community, our kids are our future, and we are honored to watch them succeed. McVeigh Perkins Funeral Home invites you to visit us at www.mcveigh-perkins.com or on Facebook.
We're back. Fourth quarter starting up here at Shenandoah High School. Redskins with a huge lead on the Zeps, 37-0. All right. Quarterback is Hunter Street. He's got the football. Going to hand it off to Moore. Boy, he fights ahead for some yardage right up to midfield.
Preston Geiler, the junior, with the initial tackler on that play. Joined then by a host of Redskins.
Last year, the score was 37-6 Caldwell. Redskins with a 3-game lead in the series, as the record is 31 wins for Caldwell, 28 for Shenandoah, and 1 tie in the series. Street with a handoff, that's Moore, and the senior is held for no gain. Kind of interesting, Mike, in 2019, Shenandoah came away with a 14-6 win, or it was 2020. Came away with a 14-6 win, and the series evened up, 28-28 and 1. So, but since that time, of course, Caldwell with their most successful team ever last year.
And of course, if this holds up here, this will be 4 straight wins in the series for the cross-county rivals, the Caldwell Redskins.
Series seems to go like that, though. It seems
it
like
does,
yeah,
yes.
It seems like, oh, here's a bobbled snap. Oh, Ethan Kroc came in and introduced himself to Hunter Street. Ball ended up on the ground. I think the Zeps have it, but it's going to be a loss of right around 2 on the play. Snap was a little bit low. Street couldn't handle it, and the Redskins came pouring in.
Street is probably glad that the Zeps are going to be punting right now.
Well,
wow.
Ethan Kroc was just playing football.
He was, yeah.
Came in with a good hard hit, looking for that football, and the freshman was in his way.
Yeah, there wasn't anything dirty about the play. It was just a good hard hit.
Here's a high snap.
Almost blocked in there by
Moore
Lake.
Punting, and he's had is that Hunter Street punting? I'm not sure.
That's number 10, I believe.
Good call. I think you're right.
Hunter Rossiter was the punter.
Yeah, and you know, Braxton Barnett had been the punter for Shenandoah before he was hurt. You know, it's a great thing when you have an outstanding athlete and he can do a lot of things, but boy, when he goes down, there's a huge hole.
Yes, there is.
In more than one
You
way.
can't afford to lose an athlete the caliber of Braxton Barnett and think you're still going to be successful.
Well, Braxton's only a junior.
So the clock continues to run. We're down to 8 minutes and 52 seconds to go here in the game.
Flag on the play. Boy, it's been chippy out there.
Oh, it has.
But this is the Noble County Super Bowl.
I think they're calling it an eligible receiver downfield there for the Redskins. If that's accepted, that'll be the 9th penalty on the night tonight. And that's something else that Coach Rucker will have to address this next week in practice, because again, playoff time, you can't afford to make that many mistakes.
Absolutely not. So 5-yard penalty, and that's going to move the ball back to the 40-yard line. Redskins will have the ball there. 8:08 clock continues to roll here in the fourth quarter now. Shotgun formation, the snap, the give, that's Archer with the football.
Bender, I'm
sorry. He's going to
nice
straight
carry.
up ahead, and a nice gain there by Aiden Bender all the way up to midfield.
His first carry of the night. Good pickup there on first down.
Well, it's been pretty much Ethan Kroc and Gavin Leake handling the football for the Redskins. Here's the snap.
That goes to Bender again.
Up to the 50, across midfield to the 45. He's down inside the 40. They're going to say he came down in bounds. Clock continues to roll. Of course, the clock would continue to roll anyway with this lead.
And I got a feeling maybe that the Redskins are going to give them a heavy dose of Aiden Bender maybe the rest of this time. I'm kind of surprised that Ethan Kroc is still in the game at this point.
I'm as well. So here's the snap. Kroc's going to take it. He's going to try it. He's going to get out. The flags all over the place. I think every official threw one. This should be interesting. He's all the way down inside the 30 to right around the 29. I don't think that's going to make any difference. Clock rolling. 6:22 left now here in the fourth quarter. 37-0 Caldwell over Shenandoah. That's our Chandler Monument scoreboard. It's going to be a holding penalty, so it's all coming back. And boy, penalties tonight galore.
That's 10 on the night against the Redskins for 105 yards. The Zeps have been flagged 6 times for 51.
And that includes the coaching staffs, both staffs.
Yeah, both staffs have been penalized one time here this evening.
Boy, the rivalry runs deep. Shotgun formation here. Kroc, the snap, straight ahead, that's a leak. He's got a nice gain, makes a man miss, makes another man miss, and he's down to right around the 34-yard line. Great gain for Gavin Leake. He continues to be very effective carrying the football.
10 carries on the night for 50 yards for the junior running back, Gavin Leake.
Second down now and 7 for the Redskins. Crowd starting to thin out just a little bit. Straight ahead, that's a Leake again. Short gain this time. Flag on the play, comes up late again. Oh, and one of the Redskins, Chandler, with his helmet off. Let's see.
He's been tossed from the game.
And so has 15 for the Zeps, I think.
There's another flag that just now got thrown.
Parker Neff, let's see. Now, if you're tossed, what does that mean for the following week, which would be the playoffs?
He will have to sit out.
A half. Isn't that right? I think. Just a half.
That's a good question. At least a half.
Yeah.
Since it's happened in the fourth quarter, it may be the whole game.
Yeah, and the officials are over there talking with Coach Rucker now.
Personal foul. Face mask. 15 green. After the flag. Unsportsmanlike. 15 green.
It looks like it's all going against Shenandoah.
So that may not have been anything against Brody Chandler.
Well, that was Parker Neff, and I think Neff is out of the game.
They tossed. It looked like they sent both of them to the sideline at the same time.
They didn't penalize.
No, there was no penalty against Caldwell. No penalty against Chandler.
That's probably, now they may have put him on the bench for a few plays.
Just to let him cool down a little bit.
Just to let him cool down. That's probably not the worst thing, but that could impact next week for the Redskins because Chandler, one of the better receivers for the Redskins as well, was a good defensive back. Here's Leake with a carry down inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. 3:12 left in the ball game, and the Redskins are trying to put the icing on a victory here in the Noble County Super Bowl.
Chandler comes back in the game, so that answers our question whether or not he got tossed. I'd say the face mask was
he was the one that had
his face mask pulled because he came out with no helmet on.
Yes, he did.
After the play.
Here is Kroc, and they're all over
him. And guess what? Another flag.
Boy. And right now, if you're Caldwell coach Chance Rucker, you want to be real careful about getting anybody hurt. 37-0, 2:27 left in a game that's already won.
And Bill, I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of surprised that he is still running the football as much, because he is the one person that you can least afford to lose for next week's game if you want to have any chance of being successful.
It'll be interesting to see what happens here in the last couple of minutes. Shotgun formation. Croc is waiting. There's the handoff to Leak. And here's another man you don't want to see hurt. He's to the 10. He's down inside the 5. That's a nice gain on the play.
Bless you.
Going to mark him right around the 7-yard line. 3rd and goal for the Redskins. 1:37 left here in the ball game. And this one can't end soon enough for either coach. Straight ahead, Croc. He is flung down. He's going to lose the yard. Like, who was that? Was that 67? Marcus Gibson for the Zeps.
Fourth and goal for the Redskins from the Zeps 7-yard line again. They're leading 37-0, and we have just gone inside 1 minute to go here in the fourth quarter.
Do you put in Peffer? They're not going to do it. I was thinking maybe a field goal. 4th down for the Redskins. Croc in the shotgun formation. He's looking. He's got some pressure. They're going to bring him down. That's going to turn the ball over to the Zeps. Something else to think about here, Mike. Caldwell with only 26 players on the roster due to injuries as well.
Actually, I think I just counted 23 that were dressed tonight.
Wow.
So, and this clock is going to run out. We have our final.
All right. The final score from Shenandoah tonight, it is Caldwell 37, Shenandoah nothing. Big victory for the Redskins, and the Noble County Super Bowl teams line up to shake hands. And that will be a good thing here, as this game getting very chippy here late in the game. So the Redskins come away with a win. They are probably headed to the playoffs next week. We're going to take a break here. We're going to step out. We're going to tally up some of these numbers, and we'll be back with more from Shenandoah High School right after this.
Southeastern Ohio Credit Union is a proud sponsor of the Cambridge Bobcats. Southeastern Ohio Credit Union is owned by the membership and exists to provide, in a friendly atmosphere, high-quality financial services at favorable terms to its members while maintaining the long-term financial stability of the credit union. Visit southeasternohiocu.org for more information. Southeastern Ohio Credit Union. Go Bobcats! Stoney's RV Center is the place that makes buying a new RV easy. Ask about their on-site financing with very affordable payments, and they make on-site camper service calls to the area campgrounds. Stoney's RV also carries cargo trailers, car haulers, horse and stock trailers, and open utility trailers. They install hitch systems and fill propane tanks too. Stoney's RV Center, the place that takes camping to the next level, and a proud sponsor of our area high school sports teams. Everyone's looking for an encouraging sign in today's economy. The fact is, you'll find one right here in Caldwell at State Farm Sue Snowd's office. Because State Farm agents like Sue have been here helping people protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and they consider that a very good sign. See State Farm agent Sue Snowd at 400 East Street, Caldwell. Sue Snowd State Farm is a proud supporter of high school sports.
How can you select from insurance companies offering you lizards or ducks? When it comes to protection for your home and auto, you want a company that provides quality insurance products and personalized, fair, friendly claims service. WB Green Insurance represents Westfield Insurance. Their reputation is based on sharing knowledge and building trust. Westfield has been around the neighborhood over 150 years. WB Green Insurance welcomes the opportunity to quote your home, car, and business insurance. Don't be fooled by lizards and ducks. Call 439-1329.
I was sitting in my car and it wouldn't start. I lifted the hood and the engine was falling apart. What would I do? my eyes filled with tears. And on the radio, I heard of West 40 by Pay here, where for a little money down and a little each week, I could have a car, nice, shiny, and sleek. So I walked in the door and I put the money down. Now I got a nice car that I can drive around. West 40 by Pay here will help rebuild your credit. The corner of Dewey and Route 40 in Cambridge, don't you forget it.
West 40 Auto Sales, corner of Route 40 and Dewey Avenue in Cambridge, is home of the guaranteed credit approval, with most loans approved while you wait. Go to their website to fill out an online loan application, west40autosales.com. You'll also find their weekly special listed there.
We're back at Shenandoah High School. Noble County's Super Bowl in the books. 37-0. Caldwell Redskins dominated Mike Palaziak from the opening kickoff all the way to the closing gun. Too many injuries for Shenandoah. Zeps competed hard tonight, but just too many weapons and too much, really, quite frankly, too much number 2 Ethan Kroc for the Redskins. They just really had no answer for him or number 14 Gavin Leake, as Caldwell dominating this football game. They're headed to the playoffs, and it looks like the Redskins are going to get a chance, as they did last year, to advance and maybe to make that Final Four.
Of course, now they've moved up a division this year. Last year they were in Division 7.
Yes.
And it's a whole lot of difference being Division 6. I mean, you're against a little larger schools. They are one of the smallest Division 6 schools in the state of Ohio.
Been interesting if they'd have played a Division 7
Looking
schedule.
at the competition and the region that they were in last year, I think they would have to feel very, very good about repeating as regional champs. But it's a different bear now that you're in there, you know, in a little larger division. But they are going to get a chance, and it looks like going into tonight, possibly 2 teams that were already on their schedule that they defeated in Fort Fry and Waterford. Again, a chance for Ridgewood to move in there, depending on how they did tonight against Garraway.
Well, I didn't see the Waterford game, but I know with Fort Fry came in pretty confident. You know, Fort Fry usually, they do a great job executing their offense, and they're hard to stop. But, man, I mean, it was just basically kind of a punch-in-the-mouth football game. The Cadets did not do well in that environment.
The other side of that, though, is the Cadets lost a very good running back in Clayton Miller. Got hurt there right before the end of the first half. And they failed to score any points the second half. And a lot of that had to do with the Redskins defense, as well as not having their stud running back in Clayton Miller. So both of those games would be on the road. The Redskins will not be hosting any playoff games this year. The Waterford game, I think, actually, there were a couple turnovers that the Redskins took advantage of early on to kind of win that game by a couple touchdowns.
Second game of the year, and I think it was down there.
It was at Waterford. Yeah, the Fort Fry game was at Caldwell. So those would be interesting. And again, if it is Ridgewood, boy, they've got a very rich tradition in football up there. That would be a tough game.
Generals.
I mean, all three. You get to the playoffs, everybody's going to be good.
Yeah, no doubt about it. There's a reason you made the playoffs.
Yes.
What do you have statistically tonight? We know that Caldwell dominated this football game. And some nice numbers for the Redskins, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, we'll do them real quickly because, as you said, the stats reflect the score tonight here. The Redskins rushed the ball 42 times tonight for 245 yards. The leading ground gainer for the Redskins, the senior Ethan Kroc, 26 carries, 150 yards. The junior running back, Gavin Leake, 13 carries for 63. Through the airways for the Redskins, Kroc was 7 out of 15, 103 yards, 1 touchdown. The key, no interceptions. And the leading receiver was, again, the junior running back, Gavin Leake, who had a great game offensively. He had all 7 catches for 103 yards and the 1 touchdown. 348 total yards for the Redskins.
Boy, Croc's been solid all year. And Gavin Leake, the last 4 or 5 weeks, he has just been coming on better and better. And that's really a big thing for Coach Chance Rucker.
And it was a good thing, too, because he kind of looked like maybe twisted his ankle or knee a little bit there. Towards the end of the third quarter, came up limping. but was able to shake it off and actually continue to play the rest of the game. And hopefully that's not something that, once the adrenaline wears off and you're behind, the game's over, that doesn't cost him, some playing time next week. But just to give you an idea, stat-wise, the Redskins with 348 total yards, the Zeps tonight with only 34 total yards.
Tough night.
It was a tough night offensively for Shenandoah. And again, a lot of that credit goes to the defense of the Redskins, as well as the key cog in the Zep offense, Braxton Miller or
Barnett.
Braxton Barnett. I do that at least once every game.
Yeah.
Of course, unable to play, and that would have made a difference. But also the Zeps did turn it over 2 times too, which led to 2 touchdowns by the Redskins.
Well, we have one thing that we did get a little bit of a late start tonight. We had a few technical difficulties down here, and there was no Wi-Fi down here tonight. Of course, that was kind of widespread. I guess that was up here in the Noble Local District down in Caldwell, and I understand they had similar problems over in Barnesville.
I think in Barnesville,
So the Wi-Fi outage was pretty big. We had problems down here, didn't have excellent phone service, but we're able to get the game on. But I do want to remind anybody who's listening, we will have the video of this game uploaded after our technicians get back with what we have in the computer right now. We'll get that game uploaded so you can watch that game on your radioplace.com. Keep that in mind, please. I want to thank our sponsors, West 40 Auto Sales, Cedar Ridge Behavioral Health Solutions, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance, McVeigh Perkins Funeral Home, Southeastern Ohio Credit Union, Allen Hunter State Farm, Farmers and Merchants Bank, Ben Schaefer Realty, Bicon Services, Stoney's RV Sales and Service, Doan Ford, WB Green Insurance, People's Bank, Chandler Funeral Home, and Sue Snowed State Farm. As it's gone all season without these sponsors, we could not be here tonight. I want to thank Bryce Haynes and Andrew Dunlap, our cameraman, and Bryce Haynes, our technical director down here, working very hard to get this on the air.
To get it on, yes.
Yes, and then basically to get that video so that if you do want to watch it, we can get it on. We have one more piece of business here, Mike, our players of the game tonight. And we came up with this. We know Ethan Kroc had a great night, but as far as the Redskins go, we had another name in mind tonight because this young man has been stepping up lately big time.
And we're giving the player of the game for Caldwell to Gavin Lake, the junior running back. Again, his stats tonight, 13 carries, 63 yards, and I believe 1 touchdown on the ground. And then he caught all 7 passes that were completed tonight for 103 yards and an additional touchdown. So Gavin Lake is our Caldwell player of the game.
He gets a medium pepperoni pizza from Plus One Pizza. Now we've got to name our Shenandoah pizza player of the game, and that is going to be, sir?
Caden Rucker.
Yes.
Caden Rucker, I tell you, had a nice game offensively and defensively. Sometimes the linemen go unnoticed. I know we called his name a lot, especially early in the game. Caden is a 6'4", 285-pound junior lineman, and congratulations to him. He is our Shenandoah player of the game.
Well, it's in the books, Mike. The Noble County Super Bowl is over. The regular season, in fact, is over. We want to remind our listeners, you wait for the polls to come out on the OHSAA website on Wednesday. Then we'll know for sure who the Redskins have in the playoffs. You can check joeidle.com on Sunday.
And that's EITEL,
yes,
Joe Idle, EITEL. And he will have a pretty good idea tomorrow if you get on that site.
Yes.
Of what the pairings will be for next week.
Yes, and it's Region 23. If you don't know, Region 23. Right. So congratulations to the to the Redskins. Congrats to the Zeps. Great year this year. Enjoyed calling the games for them. Congratulations to the Redskins. Their year is not over. They will be dancing a little bit this fall, and that's always a good thing. Always fun.
You know, they finished the season, regular season, with a record of 5-5. A little bit deceiving. They lost a couple close games that could have gone, one way or the other. But they finished with some momentum. They had a nice win against Shadyside 2 weeks ago, and I thought played a very, very good Toronto team right down to the last minute.
Could have won
last
that
week.
football game.
Very good game last week, and then they come over here. Now they're going to enter the playoffs with a big win against their county rivals. So good luck to the Redskins as they continue their season next week.
All right, that's going to do it here from Shenandoah High School. I'm Bill Kassler, thanking my color man, Mike Palaziak, and our entire AVC crew down here. The final score, one more time, it is Caldwell 37, Shenandoah nothing. Have a great rest of your night.
You've been listening to High School Football, a presentation of AVC Sports and WWKC Caldwell, Cambridge's KC 105.